I'm going to jump in and get started. So first of all, thank you for joining me tonight. I know you're busy, and I'm going to try to keep this to 30 minutes as I promised. So who am I? Well, everybody on this call knows me, and but I'm pretty sure some of you didn't know that I made pound cakes, and I've been told that they're pretty good. So, and I'm happy to make one for you, so you can try it out yourself. Of course, they don't compare to Barbara Dyer and Luann's cakes, but you know, I'm trying.
Now, you make the best pound cake, that's for sure.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
And you ship one to Houston.
On your birthday. On your birthday.
Okay.
So, so as you all know, I've been in North Carolina for 10 years, and I've been doing life insurance medicine, essentially sitting at a computer looking at medical records. I have a handful of clients that just won't let me go in Atlanta. I come down once or twice a year and do physicals, but I don't really have an ongoing, you know, day-to-day kind of involvement with people. And I realized that I missed it, and I needed to figure out what to do. So about 2 years ago, I engaged a coach to help me figure it out. And it's Coach Red Accounts. She's on the call. Thank you so much. And I enrolled in her Passion into Practice program. And it really fit me because I had a lot of passion and I just had nowhere to really engage it. And from that experience, I came up with wellness coaching and created Wellness Soulutions. And so I'm presenting that to you today. So what exactly am I doing? And it's wellness coaching, and that's something that's exploded on the scenes, and you know, everybody has a different angle on it. And what I'm doing is I'm helping people uncover their deep-seated beliefs around health. Mental, physical, and spiritual health. And what I found is that those beliefs drive a person's perception of their health and wellness, and also their ability to make the necessary changes to improve upon their health and wellness. And so I help folks identify these beliefs, remove them, and replace them with life and health affirming beliefs. I've also discovered that people don't necessarily understand some of the basics of health and wellness. So things like, you know, what's a vitamin and what does it do? Or what is that GI microbiome I keep hearing about in the news? And if you go on the web, you know, there's so much disinformation, misinformation, and some things are just outright wrong. And so I'm helping to educate people and direct them to valid information that's actually correct and useful. Helping them create an effective, personalized wellness plan, and you know, have a dose of accountability. Certainly, working with a coach, whether it's been basketball or with Passion to Practice, you know, it helps. When someone's watching, especially helps when you have a trainer and you know, they're making you exercise. So ultimately, I'm embarking on this journey to empower people to create their own vibrant health and wellness. So why, I touched on that a little bit earlier about, you know, just needing to do more with the skills and things that I've learned along the way. But also, since I got out of my conventional practice, which was back in 2002, I believe things have gotten worse. The conventional medical healthcare system in this country essentially has little to no belief in or the ability to address the metaphysical aspects of health and wellness, which are really critical in this process. It's also drug-centric and literally ignores basic physiology. So a good example is drugs like Prilosec that block 100% of your stomach's acid. Well, you need that acid. It's a first line of defense for any pathogens you may ingest. You need that acid environment to activate your enzymes so that you digest your food well. And you need an acid environment to absorb certain vitamins and minerals. And so it makes no sense to block stomach acid 100%. I could go on for that for an hour, but I digress. The system also ignores the fact that the human body knows how to heal itself. If you get cut, you don't have to think about, okay, I need to send some platelets in to form a clot and to scab this over. I need to send some other cells in there to clean things up, and I need to send some other cells in there to patch it up. The body just does it. Unfortunately, what we do is we poison it, whether it's environmental pollutions or unnecessary drugs and antibiotics, poor food choices, or negative thinking, or we're not exercising and giving the body all of those things it needs to do its thing. We are oftentimes our own worst enemy. This medical system also doesn't value the patient-doctor relationship. It's resulted in 7-minute visits and cookie-cutter care. And essentially, you go in with a complaint and you leave with 2 or 3 prescriptions. And so I'm also doing this because I genuinely want to help people be better, not just have their blood sugar controlled. Because I've seen lots of people who have good blood sugar control, but they feel like crap. And that doesn't really help the situation. So the way it works is there are 15 one-hour sessions. The first 12 are weekly, followed by 3 monthly sessions. Everyone gets homework. They get a notebook to capture their feelings and ideas and to actually do their homework. But we start with what we've named the interview. And the idea of that questionnaire is to get people to explore some of their beliefs about health, and what their health of their parents and their family, and what they think they may or may not get, excuse me, and also to examine and review what their actual goals are from our sessions. I also take a comprehensive history. It's a 10-page history form. It includes a list of symptoms from the past, current symptoms, family history, and so on. And then another unique feature is a timeline of life events from preconception, actually, to present time. Different events, emotional or physical, whether it's a bad car accident or a loss of a loved one, or another traumatic type event, impact a person's health and wellness. And an example of this that from many years ago, which really was seared into my mind, is a client that I was seeing for depression. And I asked her to write out, different, what went on in your life that led you up to this point that you're depressed. And what I got was an 8-page single-spaced document outlining all sorts of challenging events in her life. And what stuck with me most is what she said to me after she handed it to me. And she said, I don't think I've ever been heard by a physician, and I feel better already. I mean, I hadn't even done anything. And but it was just the simple act of getting all of this out and knowing that someone was there to listen to her. And so that's why I added this to our program, because it really can have a profound effect on the person just doing it. And addressing these limiting beliefs that are uncovered. The mind, body, and spirit are inseparable. Unlike the conventional medical world that thinks, okay, the body is over here and we can do all these things to it, sort of like fixing your car. But when the mind and body are unwell and you have these beliefs that are fueling that, you can't really become well. And it's really important for people to understand that beliefs aren't facts. I mean, in this day and age, in our political climate, we know that beliefs aren't facts. But this really is important for individuals addressing their health and wellness. Examine, is that belief actually accurate, and is it serving me well? And if not, we work together to change it and to replace them with life-affirming positive beliefs that are helping a person achieve their goals. Also, I talk about getting back to the basics. I have created some presentations, or have curated, so to speak, other YouTube presentations from other respected experts on a variety of topics that I think are really important for people to understand. Because when you understand that sleep isn't just to rest because you're tired, that there are significant metabolic, restorative, repairing events going on at night that are critical for your proper functioning of your body and your mind, then I think you can embrace that, well, gee, I really do need 7 or 8 hours of sleep, and I can stop saying I'll sleep when I'm dead. Because quite frankly, if you don't sleep, you're gonna be dead sooner. And so this makes it easy for me to control the information that people are receiving and make sure that it's actually accurate. And then I'm doing one test. It's called Epigenetic biomarker panel. And it is essentially looking at the function of the body metabolically. There are 6 areas that are covered. B vitamin methylation cofactor assessment, it's a mouthful, but basically B vitamins and methylation processes are critical for proper nervous system function, cardiovascular system, immune system, important for energy metabolism, for hormones, for the immune system. And when you don't have enough nutrients in those pathways, then they can't function properly, and then you get a breakdown in the system. There's cellular energy assessment. Obviously, if your cells don't make energy, then they don't have the fuel to do all the processes that are needed. Inflammation and oxidation. We're finding more and more that inflammation is a driver for many, many health-related symptoms and diseases, from coronary artery disease to Alzheimer's. And oxidation, we talk about taking antioxidants. Well, oxidation is like rust. You rust your body. Oxidation damages the cell membrane, damages your DNA. And so if that's not functioning properly to neutralize with oxidation, then you're more prone to having damage occur. Muscles need nutrients for proper function, and also have some byproducts of their function that, if elevated, are abnormal. The gut is more and more important. Everybody's heard about the GI microbiome and having balance in there, and how dysbiosis, an imbalance of the organisms, or the presence of organisms that are detrimental, are critical to our health, even to our mental health. They've tied gut dysbiosis to depression and anxiety. It's also tied to a variety of health conditions. And so those byproducts of those organisms that shouldn't be in the gut are in the gut in larger amounts than they should be. Their waste products get filtered out into the urine. And so you can get an assessment of what's going on in the gut by checking this panel. And then finally, amino acids. Amino acids are the backbone for all the enzymes in the body, and there are thousands of them, and they are working in every cell all the time, not just in our digestive system to digest our food, but also to catalyze all of the different metabolic reactions in the body. And so they are critical, and if you aren't digesting and getting enough of them, that sort of we can identify those deficiencies in this test. And so this is just sort of a great way to get a sort of foundational assessment of a person's nutrient status. I'm not planning to routinely do other tests, but based on that individual and what's going on with them, there may be other tests that I will select. Each individual will get a copy of this book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. The 7-Day Mental Diet by Emmett Fox. It's really a booklet. It should take you half an hour tops to read it. It may take you a lifetime to actually do it. And essentially, we all understand that what we eat gets digested and then gets assimilated into our body. It's the same thing about our thoughts. What we think and how we talk to ourselves, it gets into our body. And so this book is basically a challenge for each of us to be aware of what we think and to make sure we don't dwell on any negative thought for 7 days. I think I've made it 3 days. And but what I really noticed is that I had a lot of negative thoughts and painting negative scenarios and negative conversations that I was gonna have, or things that I didn't say, 6 years ago. And you all know me, I'm a pretty positive and happy person, but I was actually shocked at the self-talk and the negativity. And so I've been working on changing that, but you should try it. I think it's $3.99 on Amazon, but every person gets this book because what's between the ears is really the rate limiting step. And this book sort of sets that foundation there. And so ultimately we want to think better thoughts because it nourishes the body. No one can deny that, if someone jumps out behind a chair, you have an instant physiologic effect. If you have a negative thought or you get some bad news, you feel it in your body, whether it's your heart's beating fast or you get short of breath or your stomach, gets upset. And all of that is from physiologic changes that are triggered by the thought. So it's important for us to harness and manage and control what goes into our head, as much, if not more important than what we eat. And at the end of the day, we create a wellness plan that's individualized for each person. And depending on, what they are already doing or what their needs are, it'll be some combination of exercise and nutrition, mental and spiritual work, supplements, whether it's the green powder or specific supplements. And it's customized to that individual. I recognized long ago that I may want someone to go from here to here, but it's made up of individual steps. And so the plan has to meet people where they are and then help them get where they can go. It does no good for me to set out a plan that I think is good to try to get them here when they really need to just get to this level. And so the plan is not a cookie cutter plan. It's really designed for that person. And it's something that we co-create, that they agree to, and, and I help push them along. I also have some other resources, whether it's links to excellent websites or books that I think are beneficial. or different apps that may be beneficial. I am creating an exercise page that my trainer is helping to produce because people have some ideas about exercise that probably aren't accurate, and also can give them tips on things to do. And some of it is really simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be done on a regular basis. But the other thing is finances. Finances are a major cause of stress in people. And obviously this year has really wreaked havoc on most people. No one has gone unaffected. And I think financial literacy, something that is not taught in school, is something that could help a lot of people. So that page is also in development. And, in this quote, there really is no savior. We have to save ourselves. And I see my role as just helping people get the information they need to do what they need to do. So who's an ideal client? It's really anyone who wants to really examine what they're thinking about their health and wellness. Anyone who's ready to make the necessary changes, and anyone who is ready to really own their health and wellness and take that personal responsibility that really is important for every aspect of one's life. And I find that when people, we all sometimes want something, but we're not necessarily ready to do the work to achieve it. And so with this program, a person really has to be ready to do the work because it's a commitment. But at the end of it, I believe that that each individual will be changed. And I know that I'll be changed because I learned something from pretty much everyone. So I am staying within my time. If you have any questions, please, you can ask me now or send me an email or call me. I'm happy to field any questions, and really appreciate you spending your valuable time with me. Thank you. Anybody?
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Yep. Thank you, Vanessa, for the information.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you being on the call. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, I have one client now, and it has been an awesome experience, and really enjoying it. We're on week 9, and have already seen some amazing breakthroughs. So it's really a labor of love, and I'm just eager to get it going. I'm truly not trying to replace my day job. This is something, I want to do because I want to do it, and I want to keep it enjoyable. Not that I don't want to get paid, don't get me wrong, but it's really about the relationship built, and to have the rewarding experience of helping and seeing someone make changes in their life. So with that, I guess I will say good night. There are no questions. So thank you again. I truly appreciate it. And everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Bye. Love you.
Take care.
For having us.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.